Hey there! Today's video is all about what I have been making the last 6 months. So this is my fall and winter, everything I've made slammed into one video. So a lot of these makes slipped through the cracks. I got really busy at different points in the fall. So I was making things, but not necessarily sharing them. So I thought I would kind of round up everything together and show you my last 6 months of making. So I've got things in like chronological order, except that I could have worn the first thing that I had made, like starting late September, but this is actually the latest thing that I made. So I'll start with that in a minute. But yeah, they're all like in chronological order, but I will probably like pull and mix and match a little bit just so I can show you like, a skirt from January with a top. So I'll kind of mix and match through those. I also probably will skip over or breeze through a couple if like I've already talked about them on YouTube, or if I have pictures, I'll kind of just like pop those in as we go through. But others I haven't shared on here, so I'll spend a little more time with those. So starting with what I am wearing, this was the toile that I just made of the Friday Pattern Company Adrianna dress. So yeah, this was just in my last video talking about my like making process, so I will kind of like skip over that. I did lower the neckline. I went back and just kind of sort of just like drew it in and then stitched it up. It was very like fast and loose, but I'm so happy with it. I think it is super cute. And yeah, I made it as a toile to wear like because we have a couple of events coming up at the end of the month. But honestly, I think I'm just gonna wear it. Like I don't think I'll have made my final dress by next week. And I feel fine about that because I'm so happy with the way this turned out. My only thing is that the sleeves are kind of a weird length if they're just like out and around. So I did shorten the elastic and we'll just wear them like pulled up. But yeah, I did a full bust adjustment and I think that was it other than the sleeves and the neckline. So I'm definitely gonna make more of these. I've got it on just like with a little belt here. I might make a little tie belt. I've got a little extra of the fabric. So we'll see if I get around to that. But yeah, that's this one. So first up are these two garments that I made at the end of September. So they're a little bit funny because I meant for them to go together, but they both don't fit me for opposite reasons. So the bodysuit's too small, the pinafore is too big. So it's a little bit silly. Now, both of them are pieces I had cut out like ages before. So that is part of why the sizing is a little weird, at least for the bodysuit. It's the Nielsen Rowan bodysuit, and I have the old version rather than the one that has been since re-released with the size expansion. So it wasn't even in my size. And while it feels fine, like through the body, through the sleeves, it's definitely too small, like through the back. And I feel like it pulling up on my throat. So it's kind of claustrophobic. It looks fine, but it doesn't really feel fine. So it doesn't get a lot of wear, unfortunately. I think it's one I'll need to revisit, but like I'd have to purchase the other size range, which feels weird to me. Anyway, and then this is the Dulcie Pinafore from Jennifer Lauren. Now, it did fit me better when I made it in September, but I have since like dropped like a size, like 2 sizes in some ranges. So yeah, it's really roomy, and most of these things that I made before like still kind of fit me because I like kind of loosey-goosey styles most of the time. And I broke away from that to make something fitted. And yeah, now it doesn't fit me like at all. So it will live in the box of things that don't fit me at this time. I'm pretty used to some size fluctuation, so I do tend to hold on to things that are like a size above, a size below. Yeah, we'll see like where my size kind of shakes out in the coming months, because maybe by next winter I'll be able to wear it again. Okay, so this next one I'm not going to put on because I did do a whole YouTube video and I've got some pictures. I wore this actually for our family photo shoot a couple months ago, like in January. This is my birthday dress. It is the Seamwork Meg. I've made 4 Meg dresses, or I did make 4 Meg dresses last year. This was by far my favorite. I lengthened the sleeves. I kind of spent some time with the fit of it, and I feel like I really nailed this one. I lengthened the sleeve or the skirt. I added pockets, and yeah, it's just my favorite. I love it so much. So these two are also kind of flops for other reasons. So starting with the overalls, these were a tester version that I did of the True Bias Riley overalls. And since the feedback from the testing group, they did add a bit more rise to the back. So that's great because yeah, mine turned out like super short through the, yeah, like through the length of the front here, and the crotch really doesn't have enough room for where I want them to sit. So I'd really like for the waist to sit like on my waist, but in order to have that, it is like camel toe city. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do with these. So my options are to leave them as is, to just kind of have like a throw-on pair of overalls for the spring. I'm planning to do some gardening this year, so it will be kind of nice to just have like a I don't care what happens kind of clothes to throw on before heading out like to the dirt. Or my other option is to try to like save them. And I think I could do that by scooping the crotch, at least in the back. But it's like, do I just take them for what they are as like around the house clothes, or do I risk it for a biscuit and try to make them something that I would actually like get more wear out of? So that's kind of what I'm thinking about for these ones. It was a really fun sew. I had never done anything with hardware, so I got to like try and fail at that, doing some practice, so that was great. Yeah, it's got like the little side buttons and like a coin pocket that my mic pack is in. The pockets are smaller than I would like. That was a big point of feedback, but as far as I know, they didn't change the pocket size, but they did change the back rise, so that's great. And yeah, it was a really fun pattern. I may or may not try them again now that the rise has been updated, but I think what I really want in overalls is like a pair of Jenny overalls from Closet Core. I think that's the shape that I really want, but they haven't updated that size range yet. So I'm kind of waiting to see. I should probably just email them and ask if that's like in their plans coming up soon. I should do that. Yeah, so those are the Riley overalls, and this is the Seamwork Ace tee. This was on my Make 9, and I made this one, and I was like, yes, this is great. I love it. I need to make some adjustments, so I'm going to make 3 more. So I did that like back to back, and then I was like, actually, these aren't great. Like, they don't really fit me that well. I think I'll put on this one so you can see it a little bit better without the overalls. But basically, I think the combo of drop shoulder and funnel neck is not great for me. And even when I tried to narrow the hips in, I think the shaping is just like a little bit off. So I'll show you that in just a sec. So this is my second Ace tee. Now, when I made this first one, I thought, oh, I just need to like slim down the hips a bit. And I did a bit, but I think this shape just isn't quite right for me there. And I could fix that. I could like bring them straight down, which would improve it, I think. But really the reason that I don't reach for either of these is I don't like how it looks in the chest on me. I think the combination of the drop shoulder and the slash neck, like, is just not what I wanted. And I wish that I had been a bit more critical when I made the first one. Because yeah, my eyes were just on the like, oh, I need to fix the hips. I'll make a second one and improve it. When really I should have like looked at the whole picture and sat with it for a minute or two. Because yeah, I kind of feel like I wasted this fabric on something that I don't wear. But I guess if it just like took me 2 tries to learn that I don't like this style on me, like, so be it. That's okay. But I have a little bit of extra fabric of this one, so I might be able to refashion that one. And then this one will either go on Vinted or I might cut it up and make something for my kiddo. But yeah, 2 Ace tees that weren't the best, but lessons learned. So in contrast to these funnel necks that I didn't love, this is a sweater that I have worn like all winter. This is the toaster sweater from Sew House 7. So this is in their curve range, and I found that it makes such a difference. The raglan sleeves fit me so good, and I really, really love this one. I love how cropped it is. Now, I usually wear it with like high-waisted jeans, but yeah, I had leggings on since I'm doing lots of changes around. But yeah, I really, really love this one. Now, since I cut my hair short, I don't reach for it quite as often because I'm not loving like, yeah, these shapes together so much, but I got tons of wear out of it from when I made it in October, yeah, till like February. I was definitely wearing it like every week. And yeah, as my hair gets a little bit longer, I know that I will be reaching for it again. And it might even be like the sweater that I keep out like through the summer. I usually pick like 1 or 2 and then I pack everything else away. But yeah, I really, really love this one and it's been really cozy. Okay, so the next one I will not be modeling because it is another bodysuit. And this one I really love like from here up. So I took the neckline from the Seamwork Ace and I paired it with the Seamwork Orlando bodysuit and just lengthened the sleeves. Now the neckline, I think that this slash funnel neckline works really well for me in something more fitted. So like something that sits at the shoulders, yeah, and is fitted through the body works really well. Now I say from here up because the bottom, I didn't check the finished measurements, which is sad. That's definitely on me. But the bottom is really, really baggy. So Seamwork definitely drafts for like a more pear shape, someone that is more endowed through the hips. I have like a very straight hip and like a very flat butt. So it's a lot of extra fabric. It's very silly to look at because it's just like so bunchy. The front is really wide and yeah, it's just very silly. So I can't even wear it with like jeans because you definitely see that there's too much fabric under there, but it does look really great with like a fit and flare skirt or something that kind of juts away from the body. So I do really like this one. Sewing it was kind of a pain. I much prefer the like leg hole and crotch snap situation of the Rowan bodysuit. This one, it was my first time using fold over elastic, so that was kind of a like fun new experience, definitely a learning curve. But sewing the snaps, like the whole like they do like a added placket situation, and I just think it's really like not the best way to do this. It makes it super thick, so doing like press snaps is basically not an option, is way too thick, so I had to use sew-in ones, and the only ones I had were like really large. So I like feel them a little bit when I walk. It's kind of an awkward situation. Really what I should probably do for this one is just like cut it at the hip and make it into a top and just forego the whole bodysuit situation. But we'll check in and see where I am with it like next fall and winter, because it's definitely not one I'm going to be reaching for like in the coming months in the spring. So yeah, we'll see where we are with it next year. So this one is probably one of my favorite makes of last fall. Well, okay, like the Meg dress really takes the cake, but this one might be like runner up. This is the Davenport dress from Friday Pattern Company in a fabric that I was gifted by Minerva. So it is a viscose dobby. It wrinkles really easily, which is kind of a pain, but I really like how like soft and floofy it feels. And I like the texture. I really, really love a textured solid, and I've worn this so much. My favorite thing about it though is that when I was making it, I hadn't added the elastic to the sleeves, and I added a lot of length to it, so it was like a maxi dress before I brought it in a little bit, so it's now the ruffle hits like, you know, like mid-calf, but I didn't have the elastic in and it was full length, and I was just checking the fit in the mirror like mid-sew, and my 5-year-old came up and with like all of the childlike wonder and like genuineness, she's like, wow, you look like a real wizard, Mom. Is this a wizard costume? Are you a real wizard? I was like, it's not what I was going for, but thank you. Good to know that I look like, and she actually said it to me in Dutch. So she used the word tovenaar, which really means like sorcerer. But yeah, so I think of this as my like my sorcerer dress, my wizard costume. Yeah, it's like wasn't actually going for a costume, but thank you. Um, so I think of that like every time I put it on now. But I really like this dress. I love the color so much. I love how it feels. I could probably size down. I made the extra large. I was kind of like in between. Yeah, and it was the first time I made it, so I decided to just go with the recommended size. It definitely has enough room, but I really like it. I like how like floofy it is. It was really fun to sew. It has these cool like yokes, and it encloses the like the elastic and the facing in here. So I really like those kinds of elements when sewing. The only bummer about it is that I didn't interface the pockets down here, and they did stretch out. And like, I thought about it and I was like, oh, it's not like specified in the pattern. I'll just let it go. Mistake. But I still really like it. It's still very like twirly and autumnal. So I know that I will get lots of wear out of this into next year. And yeah, I've reached for it a whole ton in the last like few months already. So this is a big winner. So I'm not going to try on the next couple because they are just t-shirts. Now this one I made for a blog post. This was this was how I demonstrated my knit sewing tips. So I did a blog post for Forget Me Not in December that I will link below. It is 5 tips for beautiful, long-lasting knits, I think is the very long title that I gave it at the time. But yeah, so it's got some stuff about twin needling, how to find like good stretch percentage. I always interface my hems. So yeah, it was a really fun little piece to write, and I made this and was like photographing like the journey along with that. Yeah, lilac is not like my best color, so I think I might give this one to my mom. So yeah, that's that one. Then this was my first Dawson tee. This is my first make of the new year, and I really fell in love with this pattern. I have since made 2 more, and I have 1 more cut out. So yeah, definitely like TNT pattern. I really, really love it. I will show you in a second one of the other versions that I made. So of my 2023 makes so far, I think these 2 are my favorite. So this is the Forget Me Not Natalie skirt paired with the Helen's Closet Dawson top. Now, the skirt is really special to me. So for one, I made it up at my very first sewing retreat. So we did a full sewing weekend. We rented this house. We all brought our sewing machines. We had snacks and drinks, and it was super, super fun. I got to meet several new sewing friends. So it was amazing. And that experience is definitely like, whenever I wear this skirt, I definitely think about that. I also think about like the lessons this skirt has taught me. If you watched my Make 9 plans for 2023, I talked a lot about wanting my sewing practice to be a bit different this year. So I'm really working on taking on my perfectionism and trying to kind of curb some obsessive habits that I have. Yeah, I'm not like, there's definitely obsessive tendencies that come with hyperfocus and ADHD, and I am learning a lot about them firsthand. They're all things that like affect other areas of my life. But I'm really hoping to kind of try to take that on in my sewing practice, for one, because it is like a safe space where no one else is involved, where I can, yeah, try to set myself up for growth and success. And then also like, because I want to enjoy my sewing more. And that is kind of where I got to with this skirt. So the Natalie is an 8-paneled, yeah, A-line skirt. And I really got it in my head that I wanted the check of this fabric to match up perfectly on all 8 of those seams. So I very obsessively went with my seam ripper on each seam, I think 6 times for each of these seams until I got to this front panel. So I just spent a whole bunch of hours making sure everything was aligned exactly perfect. I was also working with like the stretch of this fabric, which made things difficult as well. I used Wonder Tape, I pinned, like I did all the things. And I really stressed myself out about it. I got to this last panel and realized that I cut it out not on the grain. So I had spent all of that time for something that was never going to be perfect in the first place. And it just felt like a slap in the face. I was so angry. I just felt like the sewing universe had given me the middle finger. Of course it was my mistake, like, yes. But it definitely made me like have a moment where I was like, is this what we want? Like, this isn't fun. This is not nice. I had been so obsessed with getting it right that it wasn't fun anymore. And yeah, that's not what I want for my sewing practice. So I had this like big think about it. And since then I've kind of put some parameters in place. So now I'm allowed to try a seam 3 times. That's my cap. And especially on things like top stitching, especially on like this neckline, was kind of a test of some of my new rules for myself. Or they're not rules, but like boundaries to help me like not get in that like very tunnel vision state where I get like stuck on a loop. And yeah, where it like steals my, where I steal my own joy. I don't want to go like that anymore. So this skirt really like changed the way that I am approaching sewing, and I feel like it's moving in a really healthy direction. So I'm grateful, I guess, to this skirt. It feels a little silly to say that I'm grateful to a skirt, but yeah, when I wear this skirt, I definitely think of like the friendships and the great time that I had at the sewing weekend. And I also think about like kind of the breath of fresh air that I'm trying to bring into my sewing practice. And yeah, as far as like how I feel about this skirt and the one like tilty panel, I'm really okay with it now. It's kind of funny that I was like so stuck on it for so long. And then when it was done and I like chose to let it go, it's really fine. And I love this skirt. I've worn it so much and it's super comfy. Yeah, the fabric is like nice and stretchy. It's wool, so it's warm. I've worn this a ton this winter and yeah, I'm just really excited about it. So I'm grateful to a skirt. So I don't know if I said or not, but this is the Helen's Closet Dawson tee. This is my third one. So this was my first one and it was kind of like my wearable toile. Even though it's a little bit big in the shoulders, I wear this like every week. I love this one so much. This was my second one. It's got the mock neck, which I'm not loving, as I said, like with my current hair. I have a little more fabric, so I might swap out the neckline, or I might just like put this away since like spring is basically around the corner. Kind of check in and see where I'm feeling about it. Yeah, next season or like in the fall. So I may or may not switch that out sooner than later, but yeah, that's those two. I love this t-shirt pattern. So I have 3 and then there's another one on my cutting table. But yeah, I think I just want like all of my t-shirts to be the Dawson top. I really, really like how fitted it is. It kind of just like, it is fitted, like it tucks in really nicely, but it kind of just like skims over things. It's not like tight, but it is fitted. So that is working really, really well in my wardrobe. Yeah, basically have these 3 like on weekly rotation. I really love them. They're so great for layering. I just want like a whole bunch more. I'm not going to spend too much time on this blouse or the next couple of makes because they were in my February makes video, so you can go check that out if you'd like. But it was a great month. I really liked sewing up some refashions. I did the 2 Dawson tees, definitely solidified that as a TNT pattern. And the other like really fun discovery that I made was this top. So it is a mashup of my 2 favorite top patterns. So it is the Chalk and Notch Wren with the Pattern Scout Hana neckline. I'll definitely be making more of these. I really, really love this one. So I did a little refashioning, as I said. This little wrap skirt had been a wrap dress that I made like 4 years ago that didn't fit me very well, so I made it into a little skirt. It did take a lot more modifications than I thought. I thought I was just gonna like whip on a waistband, but it was so worth it. I really love these little foxes. I think it's a really cute skirt, and it goes so nicely with this new Pattern Scout Brigit Tee. Now, I'm really, really glad I tried this pattern. This one, the fit is not quite dialed in just yet, so I want to make a couple of more and really, nail that fit because I love this square neckline and the fit through the body is really, really great. And yeah, I really want like some more of these kind of like dressier t-shirts. The last thing that I made in February was this Closet Core Knits dress. So I don't want to spend too much time on it. I already wrote a blog post. I had like a 5-minute rant about it in my last video. And I just wanted to update that I'm going to let this one go. I'm going to pass it along. I thought about trying to like make myself like it, possibly rework the dress a little bit, but ultimately like I just don't think that it's worth all of the effort. Like, it's a beautiful color. I do really like the buttons, but like, it's also just a dress. And yeah, I can make something else that makes me happier. This does not spark joy. It kind of just makes me feel guilty. And yeah, I'm ready for it to just have a new home. If you caught my last video, I was really bummed about this Friday Pattern Company square neck top that I had made that turned out way not the right size and shape for me. And so I ended up pretty much taking it apart. Like it actually took me longer to make some alterations than it did to take the actual construction. But I'm really glad I did because now I have a wearable top that I really like, and I know what I will do differently next time. So I took out about 3 centimeters from the shoulder here, which brought the dart up much closer to where it is supposed to be. It was like almost below my waist. Like it was silly. And then I also took some out of the side seam, so it fits much better now. I will size down the pattern and be able to make a couple changes in the future. So I'm very excited. I've got on the jeans that I mentioned were kind of like the inspiration for this top. Yeah, it's very like, yeah, late 90s, early 2000s with the daisies and like the color block jeans. I feel like I could be an extra in like a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie, and I love it. So that is everything that I made in the last 6 months. So fall and winter. Spring is around the corner and I'm really, really excited, but it was still great to kind of pull everything and yeah, see it all together. Definitely some successes, some sewing wins, but also some flops and failures and a lot of lessons learned. So I'm really excited to take that with me in my sewing journey as like I move on to making some new things. So very excited to kind of get some of this like put away, either like move on from it or also just like pack it away for next year because yeah, really want it to be spring. I'm very done with winter, but it was good to do some reflection. And I would love to hear from you about like your favorite thing that you made this winter or like flops, fails. I am here for it all. I love to chat about sewing and making. So hit me up in the comments below, or you can go find me on Instagram. Yeah, I always love to chat about this. So that is all from me today. I am excited to get into some spring sewing. Like I said, I'm gonna do a little wardrobe evaluation coming up soon about the stuff that I made last year. So keep your eyes out for that. But for today, that is all. And until next time, happy making. Bye.